In a world ravaged by infection, where civilization has crumbled, hope is a fragile thing. Survivors will face the unimaginable. We will walk in this new, uncertain world. A world gone dark. Only the brave will emerge from the ashes of the past.
When you get the apocalypse you wanted, but not the apocalypse you asked for, you're going to want something comfortable, stylish, and durable enough to outrun any of those post-apocalyptic creatures that may be chasing you, whether that be the living, the reanimated dead, or a fungal infection that you just can't seem to shake. So, with The Last of Us Season 2 dropping recently, I thought it was fitting to revisit one of my all-time top favorite jackets. Now, this is the Flint and Tinder waxed trucker jacket from Huckberry, and long before HBO dropped the hit show The Last of Us, this was a best-selling product on Huckberry, but after Season 1 dropped, this thing sold out like hotcakes. It was flying off the shelves. I am well aware that it was a video game long before it was a TV show. I am not a gamer, but I have watched the walkthroughs of both 1 and 2, and I absolutely love the storyline, and they kind of make me want to play the game, so it's something that is probably going to be in my future. And yes, the Joel character played by Pedro Pascal in the TV show is wearing the jacket in field tan. I already have a field tan version of the jacket that I've had for over 2 years at this point. So this go around, I went with the charcoal. And fun fact, the charcoal was actually the very first Flint and Tinder wax trucker jacket that I bought. But then shortly after, I ended up buying a field tan, and I liked that color more, so I did let loose back into the wild my charcoal, and I regret it. Because when I say that this is one of my top 3 favorite jackets of all time, I absolutely mean that. It's this, and I have 2 different Type 3 trucker jackets that I absolutely love, and whenever I wear one of them, that is my all-time favorite jacket, so they're all tied for number 1. But there have been a few changes in recent years of the Flint and Tinder wax trucker, so I figured now that Season 2 just dropped, it was kind of fitting to revisit one of my favorite jackets and talk about those changes. And one of them is with the pockets. Now, my field tan version and my original charcoal version were well over 2 years old at this point, and originally they did not come with any type of lining inside the pockets. They are just bare wax canvas, both front and back. But on these newer versions of the wax trucker, the knuckle side is actually lined with the same blanket lining that you see on the inside of the jacket. Now, I had been hearing for about a year that they did put linings in these pockets. At the time, I reached out to my old contact at Huckberry. He looked into it. He said no, they weren't lined. They're the same pockets that they've always been. But I had photo proof sent to me by subscribers and a couple people in a Facebook group that I knew had this jacket. So I did get photo proof that the pockets were lined, but until I got my very own, I could not 100% definitively confirm it. And yes, they are now lined on the knuckle side with the same blanket lining that we see throughout the body. And before we get any further, I do want to touch on this, that yes, this is blanket line through the body and the sleeves. There is no poly in the sleeves. It is the same blanket lining that goes throughout the entire body and the sleeves, which, while it does make it harder to get it on and off, if you're wearing something like a brushed flannel, it does get hung up and you have to kind of pull the sleeve down to adjust it. I prefer this. I find it to be more comfortable, especially if I'm wearing this with, say, a t-shirt, because it's a little bit warmer. This just feels a lot better on the skin. Yes, the poly is easier to get on and off, but I think that the flannel lining throughout the body and sleeves is, personally, I prefer it. I like it. It looks better and it feels better on the skin if you're wearing a short sleeve. And ultimately, I find it to be a little bit warmer as well. And the other difference that I found is that the jackets are actually running a little bit slimmer now. My original jacket is a size medium, and while yes, I have grown a little bit in the past 2 years, which happens with everyone with age, I found that the newer size mediums in the Flint and Tinder wax trucker is just too small. I actually had originally requested one of these around Christmas time in a size medium, and it was so small I couldn't button it unless I was wearing it over a t-shirt or a thin button-down shirt. So I ultimately sent that one back and just recently got a replacement for it in a size large. Now, my original field tan is a size medium, and I find that it does fit a tiny bit snugger than the current size large, but really it's not that much different. So I think that the size larges are closer in size now to the old size medium. So you may want to upsize one size when you're buying this jacket. Now I know what you're thinking. That jacket is 2.5 years old. That size medium could have easily stretched out to be closer to a size large. And yes, that is totally the case. I guarantee you that jacket has stretched out a little bit. It has seen plenty of wear over that time frame. But I also have some older Flint and Tinder wax jackets that are about a year, year and a half old, that while they are a different cut, they all fit very, very similarly in the body. So those mediums, I wore them against the large in the current Flint and Tinder wax trucker, and they all fit about the same. So again, not the same cut, but they all had the same basic feel to them in the size mediums, and all of those size mediums that do not have nearly as much wear as my original wax trucker, they all fit closer to this size large. So I think they slimmed down the cut a little bit. Now, the price point has not changed. Ever since I've been looking at this jacket, it has been $298. Now, this is an American-made jacket. It is made from our Texan sailcloth that is made in New Jersey. Yes, the blanket lining of this jacket is imported, but the main body of the jacket is both manufactured and waxed in New Jersey, and then the whole jacket is cut and sewn in Los Angeles, California. Now, inflation has gone up on everything, but really this jacket has stayed the same. I guess my working theory is the fact that they trimmed down the sizing a little bit more. They're able to keep that price point the same and add the blanket line to the pockets and have that same $298 price point. Most likely not the case. That's just my squirrel brain running around in circles. But the price point has stayed the same. And again, when I say this is one of my top 3 favorite jackets, I absolutely mean this. I love this jacket. I've been wearing the hell out of that field tan version. I wore that basically all summer long. The first year I got it as my riding jacket on the Ruckus. So it's like 80, 90 degrees out, and I had the flannel blanket line jacket on for a while. They did release an unlined version. I don't know if that'll come back in the spring this year. That was maybe last year or the year before. They did have an unlined version, which was nice for those warmer days. It's still wax, so it doesn't breathe as great. Now, I've also been wearing this quite a bit because it is only April. While it is a nice day out here today, right now, it has been raining like for weeks now. And this has been one of my go-to jackets. Basically this and a different Flint and Tinder jacket, wax jacket with the hood, have been my 2 jackets that I've been wearing when it's been raining, which again has been nearly every single day. This is the first time I've seen blue skies in probably a week, week and a half. And it is a 7.5 ounce Texan sailcloth that does shed the water really well. Now, if you are in a prolonged rainstorm, which I have been with, not this one particular, but my older version that also has some of that wax worn out, it might absorb a bit into the material, but because that material is actually pressed, it's basically impregnated with the wax, it goes through rollers, I still did not get wet on the inside. So while the material looked a little bit damp, like it absorbed some of the water, it did not permeate all the way through. So I was still dry underneath. And again, that is on a 2+ year old version that has certainly had a lot of that wax shed off over the years. It's probably due for a re-waxing at this point, but even after 2 years of pretty solid wear, it still does its job even without that re-wax. So the Flint and Tinder wax trucker jacket. Do I think you should get one? Yeah, I absolutely need one of these in your lineup. I love this jacket. The first one I bought with my own money. I will say I bought it on Amazon from Huckberry on Amazon, but there was like an Amazon offer where if I signed up for an Amazon credit card, I got a $100 Amazon gift card instantly, and I had 0 interest for 12 months. So I was like, well, hell, I'm going to buy the $300 jacket. I'm going to get it for $200, and I'm just going to take a year to pay it off, 20, 30 bucks here at a time. It's a no-brainer. So I bought it with my own money, and then I ended up buying a second one. I liked it that much, I bought 2. I will say, though, that I did buy this after season 1 of The Last of Us came out. I was looking at it for about 6 or 8 months, going back and forth whether or not I should buy the Flint and Tinder wax trucker or a different brand's wax jacket, and I ended up buying the other brand first because I like the overall styling, because this has more of a Type 1 trucker jacket look to it, where the other one that I bought was a Type 3 trucker jacket. And then season 1 of the show came out, and I fell in love with the show, and I kept seeing Joel wearing this jacket, a jacket that I had already really been thinking about buying, and I'm laying in bed one night watching it. I saw the advertisement on Amazon for the gift card, and I said, screw it, we're going to buy it. So I ultimately bought it, and then I bought a second one. And I will say, after I bought the field tan version, that's when I decided that I ended up selling both my charcoal wax trucker, and I sold that other one. So I ended up only having one wax jacket for a long time, that being the Flint and Tinder wax trucker in field tan, and that was the only wax trucker jacket I had for a long time. And then my love for wax kind of took over, and I started reviewing basically all the Flint and Tinder wax trucker jackets. But absolutely love this jacket. I think it's something that you need in your wardrobe. I say that having wanted this before the show came out, and now that the show's out, if you want one, I don't know if the trend's going to pick up like it did last time, but the show was a hit, so these jackets were sold out for a long time on Huckberry. So if you're looking at it, especially the field tan version, because Joel, it's been confirmed, Huckberry did confirm it, they have a Havana color that's a little bit darker tan, but it has been confirmed by Huckberry that in fact he is wearing the field tan version of the jacket. In the daytime scenes, you can tell that it's the lighter version, but some of the grading on it, because it is a post-apocalyptic horror series, it could be a little bit darker, so it could look like he might be wearing the Havana color, but he is in fact wearing the field tan. So if you're looking at this jacket, especially in field tan, snag one, because I don't know, season 2 is going to have the hype behind it that season 1 did, but if it does, they're going to sell out fast. So if you're looking at the jacket, this is in fact the jacket that Joel wore, which is the Flint and Tinder wax trucker jacket in the field tan version. Snag one now. There is an affiliate link in the description box down below. If you are thinking about buying the jacket, please consider using that link. It doesn't cost you anything extra, but I do get a small percentage of the sale kicked back to me. And all the money goes back into this channel to help me produce more content so consumers can make informed purchasing decisions. Good night.